Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. How's everybody feeling this morning? It's a marvelous Monday. It's a cold Monday, but I'm thankful to be able to feel the cold. First, thankful to be here to even feel the cold. Um, so I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope it's not too bad where you are, and if it is bad, I hope that you're safe, you're warm, and you're staying inside. The roads I thought were going to be kind of bad here where I am in Alabama, but even though it's below freezing here and it rained all day, there is some ice. There is some ice, but not as much as I thought. Because I had to go out there early this morning and take my trash bin out. I forgot to do it. Well, I didn't really forget. I was trying to wait until it stopped raining, and by the time it stopped raining, it was dark. So I was not going out there at night um, to take my trash bin out. Some we've had some characters doing the knocking on doors, and twisting doorknobs over here. So yeah, we don't go out after dark. And y'all hear boxes and stuff falling. Milton Leroy is playing with his cardboard box. He's jumping in it, flipping it over to one side, then running from the other side, flipping it over. So yeah, he just having a good time this morning. Matter of fact, honey, he is probably doing it so I will give him a treat. So hold on one more moment, because that is what I forgot. I forgot to give Milton Leroy his treat this morning. Lord have mercy, I'll be right back. Oh. Whew. You said you just gonna act up until I give it to you, huh? Ooh, Milton. Honey, your mama forgot, but she remembered, honey. She remembered. Yes, she remembered. Oh, good morning, good morning. Good morning, cousins. Welcome in. Sit. I know how to do it. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. There you go. Milton has to pray over his food. We show gratitude so that we will never be hungry. And not just that, it's because we're thankful. We know on our own we could not have done it. God provides. There you go, Milton. There you go. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Y'all know I was, Lord, he's still over there. He's still over there beating up the box. I thought he was just making up all that noise because he wanted me. Well, because I didn't give him his treat, but I guess not. Maybe he's just having a good time this morning. Doing what he do. Y'all used to Milton. Like I said, a lot of it, I think it's Milton Leroy is jealous. He's jealous because I'm not talking to him. He can tell that I'm directing my attention elsewhere. So I think that has a lot. Good morning, Stu. How you doing, cousin? Stu, did you come? Oh, I see you. I'm like, Stu, are you still here? Because I know you'll dot in and dot out. Yeah, I'm not going to let that go too soon. Good morning. How many inches have y'all gotten now, Stu? I know the last I heard you say it was like, I think you said 11 or 12? We didn't get any snow here. Like I said, we got ice. Not as bad as I thought either. I thought I was just going to wake up to, Milton. To, just being a sheet of ice outside. Because like I said, it was still raining last night as the temperature was dropping below freezing. But no, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Thank God, I guess, because good for Walmart. You can't see the comments. Oh. You know what, Stu? I can't either. What about now? Let me know if you can see him now. If you can't, I'll see what I can do. Huh? Can you see him? All I see is down. Can you see him? Because if you don't let me know, I won't know, baby. Just you. Just you and I. You and I. We are the only ones here right now. Queen B will be here in a little bit. Nene said she was coming. The other cousins will be here. Just hold tight, Stu. Hold tight. Don't try to run now. I knew you were up because I saw your comment. Uh-huh. I saw your comment right as I was getting ready to go on. I was setting up to go on. I saw that you had messaged on the chat line. Well, still let me know. Can you see the comments now? Or you saying it makes sense because there's nobody else here to comment? Is that what you're saying? Because you're the only one that's here right now. Right. Okay. They'll be here, hold tight. Hold tight. Don't get upset. You just early. You just, not even early. You're first, so when you're first, you can't be last. So thank you for being here this morning, Stu. Again, are y'all still holding at 12 inches of snow or did you get more? We may not have gotten any snow, but it is cold outside. It is cold. Like I said, I am still cold from where I went out to take the trash bin out earlier. Good morning, cousin. Good morning. Stu in here cutting up because he by himself. I can't see the comments. Who else is here? Good morning, cousin. Okay, Stu, there you go. Oh, tip is negative. Woo! Lord have mercy. Have mercy. Woo. Y'all can have at it. Like I said, I pray covering over you and everyone in that area. My goodness. Good morning, cousins. Yeah, honey, he in here cutting up. Good morning, boss. Good morning, boss. You caught me off guard. How are you doing this morning? How are you doing? Oh. What is going on here? Whew. I don't know what that is doing. Oh, hey, good morning, boss. Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna have to switch to a canister. I don't know why my concentrator is beeping. Y'all give me a minute, okay? Boss, you kind of threw me off. You got my machine over here beeping. Good morning. Happy Monday. Yes. Same here, boss. I really thought it was gonna be the number to time. I really did. But you all right with me, boss. You are all right with me. So what you doing? You Did you stay up all night to make this morning meeting, or did you get any rest? Because you were laying it on pretty thick last night. I learned a lot, though. I learned a lot. Hold on a minute, y'all. Let me see. What, Nay? What? I don't really, Stu, lay down, baby. Just lay down. Where your lighter at? Of all times. Well, she kind of got me sweating a little bit this morning. Got my concentrator at going off, alarms and whistles and all kind of stuff going off over here. And see, I was gonna change up my morning. Okay. So you coming like to be security, or you just coming? So you're not really coming to see me. You coming to see who gonna be here. Is that what it is? Okay, I think I understand now. Think I understand. But what I said I was going to start doing, because I read this before I go online every morning. I read out of this book and I say a prayer. I don't know if my prayer has taken hold this morning, but we're going to find out. And I know this is probably going to be backwards. I don't know how to mirror my screen. Are you? Okay. 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 Make it right. You gotta make it right. You gotta pretty it up. But this is a 2026 daily devotional by Wah. So, like I said, there's a page for every day of this year. And y'all know that this year is a leap year. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Ronald. Welcome. Be careful. Okay, let's have a word of prayer. Good morning, Leah. How you doing, love? Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. No. Let's read January 26th daily devotional. Okay. Daily message is. So, boss, hold on a minute. Let us get this word. Let it sit down in your spirit, okay? Yeah. Let it sit down in your spirit. Daily message for the day is: obedience opens doors that hustle can't. You don't have to chase every opportunity. Just follow God's lead. What He ordains will find you. Walk in obedience today and watch blessings flow in ways you never imagined. Life rule of the day: obedience brings favor faster than striving. Scripture is from John 14, verse 15, New Living Translation. If you love me, obey my commandments. And the closing prayer is: Lord, help me follow your will above my own desires. Amen. And like I said, I wrote this book. It was written to be done You know, because sometimes you don't have a lot of time. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time. Just a little bit of time that you set out aside to spend time with God, to talk with God, to reflect. It also has spaces for faith notes, which are, it can be your prayers, whatever's on your heart, you know, at the time, faith notes. It could be what you have faith in right now, what you're believing in to happen. And it also has a space for answered prayer. Y'all, I am sweating just a little bit this morning. I don't know what's going on. Give me a minute. Built a Leroy over here doing backflips off the couch. Y'all, give me a minute. Stu, this would be the life that you show up too early for. That's probably why it's all what it is. I'll be right back. Okay. And we're back. Okay. Why? Why? Don't do that. Don't do that. Just go lay down and take a nap, Ronald. It's okay. Don't crash out. Just go lay down and take a nap. A nap is like a cure-all, Ronald. Did you hear what I just read? You can. There's a link in my description. There's a link in my description of my live. I'm not of my live, but of the my channel. You can go and maybe, Ronald, you can find something there to keep you from crashing out. Okay, sweetheart? Don't crash out. Like I said, just read a Bible verse. Speak over yourself. No. Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about, how's the weather where you're from, Ronald? I hope you're staying safe and staying warm. What about you, boss? How's the weather where you are? We were talking about obedience and something else. Oh. Let me show y'all. How do you like these bookmarks? These bookmarks will come with every, and they have the verse on the back. They're double-sided. I know you can't see it, but it says, do everything in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. And then on the back it just says, do everything in love. 1 Corinthians 16:14. But every journal or devotional that's ordered from me, especially the Sarcoidosis awareness journals, they will come with a bookmark, an ink pen. Well, every time I send out a journal, they come with a bookmark, an ink pen, and some come with stickers. I always, cause don't they always come with three things. 3 represents completion, you know, like I said, you got the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. So 3 represents completion. So I always send out things in the number of 3. So, like I said, any journals that's ever been ordered from me, any journals, books, or whatever, if you get them directly from me, and if they come from Amazon, they won't have all that with them. But if they come from me, if I use autograph them or whatever, they'll have the bookmark and the ink pen and possibly a sticker. But I like to count the journal as one of the 3 too. So yeah, there we go. It's really early in the morning. What are y'all doing today? What are y'all doing today? Um, this is Stu. I feel like you brought this over here this morning, Stu. I gotta have somebody to put this on, so I'm gonna put it on Stu. Um, Anybody have pet children in the house? Ronald, do you have pet children in the house? Because they really help alleviate stress. Oh, you're getting rid of clothes. Okay. Okay. I do that too, Nene. I do. Good morning, sis. Good morning, Queen B. Uh, when I watch, what is that show? One year I watched that show and I watched it like nonstop. I binge watched Hoarders. I gave away so much stuff that when I did it like during the summertime, and every time I watched the episode, I would get up and throw away, or bag up something else, take it, take the Goodwill. By the time winter came, honey, I didn't even own a coat. Didn't realize I had given away so much stuff, that I had given away stuff that I needed. But honey, that show Hoarders, if that does not make you get your life together in some shape, form, or fashion, I don't know what will. Because I feel so bad for them. Just like my 600-pound life show. You can't help but feel bad for them. I am cheering them on, And then they keep going by. They keep going by the fast food restaurant ordering $200 worth of Big Macs. And it's frustrating, like I said, at the same time, but I'm cheering them on because I want them to win. I know that something has had to happen in their life for them to be in the situations that they're in. Now, I know y'all in here, trying to tussle, but I need y'all to still hit that like button on your way in. If you're going to be in here hitting something, hit the like button. That'll give you something to do at least for a couple of seconds. Like I said, until what I just read from the daily devotional takes hope of your spirit and relaxes you and calms you. And like I said, even if it didn't, just go take a nap, just go lay down and let the spirit rock you to sleep. Even if you just woke up, let the spirit rock you back to sleep. Drink you some hot cocoa. That's always soothing to the body, some hot cocoa. On a cold day like this, some hot cocoa probably relax you and put you right back to sleep. Because that's what's going to happen on my end. Yes. So now, Cousin Nene is in the comments saying, Lord Jesus. Yes. But the last time I think we were all together, we were brainstorming ideas for Sarcoidosis Awareness Month. And I decided that even though I come on in the morning, I'm still gonna I'm gonna start coming on in the evening as well. Not every day, but last night was a relaxing night. Not that the mornings aren't relaxing, because they are, but I like being able to lay down and do the lives. I could lay down in the morning, I guess, and do the lives, but something about the morning just feels like, you need to be up in an upright position if you can be. But at night, yeah, just lay down and do the live like I did last night. I almost went to sleep, but I had somewhere else to go, so I and it wasn't a long live. I think it was only like an hour. And then I went back over to Cousin Stu's house. So yeah, I like doing the lives at night. And like I said, especially on the nights that I can't sleep, over in the morning, that I want to try going on then, because like I said, I don't mind talking to myself at all. I do it all the time. Only difference is y'all are here watching me do it. And so even if I went on, that time, yeah, that's where I went. That's where I went. And I said it. I said, y'all, I'll be back. I gotta go and do a live on YouTube, because I told my family, I was like, hey cousins, I'll be back later on this afternoon. And I said, if the shower chair comes in, I'll definitely come back, so y'all can help me put it together. Because I'm directionally challenged, even with instructions. I can't see the instructions. They write them so small that I can't see that. I really can't. I can't see it. And more than likely, if I could see it, I still wouldn't read it. So it didn't come in yesterday. It's scheduled to be here today, and the sun is shining beautifully outside, so I'm pretty sure that it will be here. So yeah. So when it comes in, I will come back on live so y'all can help me put it together. If it's hard. If not, I'll just come back and let y'all see it for a brief second. Or I might just post a post of it. Excuse me. I wonder really what was going on with my concentrator early. It was beeping. It had an alarm going off on it. So I don't know. But it's working perfectly fine now. Maybe it could sense trouble and just started screaming. I don't know. But, we're going to speak. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I wish you could. I wish you could be a chauffeur, too. You like driving, boss? Because I don't. And I have to. I have to do it now. Yes. Like I said, I had to do a reset on it. I had to settle it down. There was everything going off of here. Milton Leroy was doing backflips off the sofa. The concentrator was screaming. It sounded like my car when I back up. Just a constant scream. No beeping. And yeah. Like I said, a nap will do a body good. Oh, okay. Milton Leroy is going to be in the car too, because he likes to ride too. I've been trying to, give him driving instructions and stuff like that, and trying to get him to pay attention to his surroundings when we're out, so that he can, if I need to send him to the store for something, he can go there and find his way back home. But he seems to be a tad of a slow learner. Yeah, so I'm working with him. Oh, okay. Now he likes snacks. He likes treats. He loves treats. Get up here. Come on. There you go. Y'all, this is the co-host of the live. Of course, y'all know Milton Leroy. Y'all know him. Say hey, Milton. Say hey. Milton said he about his business this morning. He want his treats. He heard the bag. Got all my weeds in you. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Amen. Okay, there you go. Yes, Eddie. Yes. And Cousin Lee, I've been giving out your Instagram only to family. So hopefully get you closer to where you want to be. And we can continue, and you can continue to do great things on your end. Cousin Lee, I didn't know. Did you know that you can go live on Instagram and have panels on Instagram? Because that would be cool. Honey's got mine itching too, Nene. I mean, more than that. More than my wigs are itching over here. Y'all need to be having y'all hands up toward the screen praying for me. Something. Because I'm telling you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Thank you, boss. Thank you. Hey, Stu, put something on that. Put a spin on that. Yes. Yes, more than likely, cousin. I'm gonna be laughing the whole time I'm looking at the instruction. Honey, y'all might see it with a leg pointing backwards if I have to do it myself. I'm trying to tell y'all I am, I'm dyslexic. This is all diagnosed stuff. I'm not making anything up. I don't have to put a spin on anything in my life. I'm dyslexic, directionally challenged. That's whether it's GPS, on my own, on paper. It does not matter. I just, and then I get, like I said, visually impaired. So it's not like I have a whole lot of things working in my favor. I just work with what I have. And thank God for y'all, that y'all can help me with this. And then they talking about all of her weed. Honey, please. I'm telling you, I got itches in places that I can't even scratch right now. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, even Milton Leroy felt it. He felt it from his mother. But yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be a heck of a replay live right here. I might just unlist this one. Cause it is not like the normal morning lives, I tell you that. And thank goodness, when you watch the replay back, you cannot see the comments from the lives. You cannot. But yeah. Oh, but what I was saying was going live early in the morning when I can't sleep, and then possibly doing more lives at night, because I want to try out the different times of day. Okay then. No, I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that. I'm going to have to hold you to that, boss. I'm waiting on it. I just don't want to, I want to see what the other times of the day look like, meet some family that can't be here during the morning time. And, yeah. Like I said, the ones that over in the night when I can't sleep, those will probably just be for me. Just for me to have, be able to talk and because I don't expect for y'all to be up that time of morning. I know y'all have jobs, places to go, people to see. And a lot of the time when you're hurting, not a lot of the time, all the time for me, if I'm hurting, it's worse over in the night and the early mornings. And I'm pretty sure there's somebody else up scrolling who might need a little bit of company, who might be going through the same thing, or maybe not physical pain but mental pain. Before I started mental health treatment, those were the worst times of the day for me. The wee hours in the morning when everything was quiet and it seemed like the world was still. Okay, I will. Those were the worst times for me. That's when your mind is just racing. When there's nothing to do, you mop the floors. And you know what? I was thinking about that. Y'all know I have a well, some of y'all know I have an issue with, like I said, doing things in threes. So I've always swept and mopped the whole house 3 times a day. Whether I could breathe, whether I was hurting, I had to do it. If I was away from home, I wouldn't have a good time because I'm like, I got to get back and sweep them off the floors. It was awful. People that I was with, they weren't having a good time because I was ready to go. And that's all I had to do was go home and sweep and mop the floors. There had been nobody there since the last time I did it. Especially, living by myself. There was nobody here to mess up anything, to walk on the floors while I was gone. But I still had to do it. So my therapist, she was like, let's just try doing it twice. And it took me well over a year to get down to 2, because I would feel guilty about not doing it 3 times. Okay, it really does help. It really does help. And like I said, I feel like everybody needs to, just have a mental health advocate, someone that they can go to and talk to. But especially those who have illnesses, because stress wreaks havoc on the body, alone, just stress alone. But you combine it with an illness, and it's like 2,000 times worse on the body. So yeah, I would suggest everyone seek mental health treatment. And like I said, you may not have had a traumatic childhood or adulthood or something like that, but we all have, situations in our life where we just need somebody to talk to, We've all been there. Everyone has been there. And the things that you may want to release, you may not feel comfortable reaching out to someone or someone who knows you. So to be able to reach out to someone who's there to help you, give you an unbiased opinion, we all could benefit from that. Like I said, my only thing is I wish I had, I could say that, but I know that everything happens in divine timing. But I wish that it hadn't been such a stigma around mental health treatment, especially in the African American community, and especially in the church, because they will tell you everything but that, and everything but something to help you. Their whole what I grew up here, and I'm speaking for myself when I say they'll tell you everything but go seek help. Their thing was just pray, or you're not praying hard enough. And when I was like, well, I'm praying to be unalive, and then they were like, and then they just stopped asking me what was wrong with me. They were like, okay. Or they'd be like, that's an attack of the devil, or there's no such thing as depression. Yes, it is. And for speaking for family, y'all know why I'm depressed. Y'all knew what was going on, but like I said, you did nothing. But that's here nor there. But I'm just saying everybody could benefit from mental health treatment. And don't think just because you're on medication that you'll be taking it forever. That is not the truth either. But sometimes you need the medication to be able to heal, to be able to get you, through hard spots, to where you're even open to healing. Because I'm telling you, I hadn't had a good night's sleep, and I still don't sleep well, but I'm talking about like restful as mental, until I started taking medication. And I thank God for it. Like I said, my dose has significantly decreased in some of them, and some of them I don't even have to take anymore. But I think that's where they have a misunderstanding of needing medication. Now, some people, yes, you need to take it indefinitely, but that's not everyone. Everyone is different. But I'll say again, I'm thankful for the mental health meds, for the mental health professionals. And I went through, how many did I go through? I went through a few before I found the ones that fit well with me. When I found the ones that just weren't doing it to be doing it, or the ones who had been doing it so long that they were just burned out, they were just tired giving everyone the same generic information and advice, because you'll find those too. and the ones that don't listen to everything you're saying. They hear a little bit of it and that's what they want to focus on. That is not even why I'm here. So yeah, I fired a lot of them, but that's what it takes. That's advocating for yourself, finding the right person for you. Doesn't matter about, their education or anything like that. You still have to find the right person for you. Same thing with any relationship in life. You don't just go out and marry the yes, yes, yes. Yes, me too, Nanny. Because I'm telling you, honey, it wasn't nothing for me to try to slide off the roof on my head on the daily or think about sliding off the roof on my head. You know what I'm saying? So, thank God for Jesus. But when I went to my primary doctor, I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what else to do. I mean, either I was gonna explode and do something really, really stupid because I was just tired of myself. Myself was really aggravating me, frustrating me, making me mad. I didn't have no control over myself. She was just wild. And I don't mean wild as in physical, things, mental things. I was wild about. I mean, my thoughts were here, there, everywhere. And it was awful. Try living with, like say your conscious and your brain never shutting off. It was, I mean, literally at war within myself. But then all people saw was this. And me smiling and laughing. Well, one side is going, you so silly for not being able to pick that up. Or you so silly, you done took a nap all day long. And the other side of me is fussing with that person and at me, Show them that you can do that. Oh, it was a mess. It was a mess. I can't even begin to break it all down. Thank God. Thank God it is a memory now. But I'm telling you, I was mentally exhausted at my wit's end. So when I went and told him I need to talk to somebody, he didn't say about what do you mean? He said he had never seen me look like that before or sound like that. He got up and left the room. He did his finger like that, like 1 minute. He slid back on the stool and got up and left the room. That's the second time a doctor's done that to me. And he came back with an appointment card that was only like 3 days away. And he looked at me when he gave me the card. He was like, is that soon enough? Like, will you be okay? You ain't gonna try to slide off the roof on your head, in 3 days, are you? And I was like, no, I'm cool. I'll be cool, But the person I saw, no, that wasn't the first person. The first person I saw was the psychiatrist. And honey, I know he probably didn't know what to do with me. I know he didn't know what to do with me because he told me that several times. The first appointment, literally, I sat in the chair in his office and cried the entire hour. Not even talking, just sitting up in there crying. I guess I just needed a safe place to cry, to let it all out. But I sat in his office and I cried for the entire hour. And then he said, see the receptionist to make my follow-up appointment. And I told him that I was never coming back. And he was like, what do you mean you're never coming back? And y'all, I went up in there, I'm talking about hair done, looking like I was getting ready to walk a runway somewhere, makeup done, everything. And so now I've sat up in there and cried for a whole hour, and everything is a mess. And I told him I would not be back. I'm just not gonna keep coming back to sit up here and cry, and mess my makeup up. But if he got a sofa, I could lay down and cry, and the tears would, roll that way. I could fix that more so than I could fix, just washing away, everything from here down. So he looks at me, he was like, you watch too much TV. I'm not getting yourself up for you. Okay, well, I won't be back. Well, I did stop on the way out, made a second appointment, decided to go back, and he met me in the hallway. As soon as the nurse called me back, he met me in the hallway outside of his office, And he was just all excited. And he was like, I have something for you. I have something for you. You're going to be so happy. Walk in there. Why does this man have a love seat in his office now? So I look at him and I'm like, you got to be crazy. I'm not lying down on that so you can ravish me while I'm all distraught. So I sat in his chair and he sat on the love seat. The whole time he looking at me like, what is wrong with you? You know, I did this for you. And now you're talking about ravishing and all of that. That's not even what's going on here. That man wrote me out a stronger prescription that day. He probably needed one too. And I made an appointment. Yes. Well, he had to know that I was under a lot of stress. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure because when I came back and saw him again, he asked me how things were going. He said I looked a lot better. He was like, your eyes look better. He said, even though, I've heard you laughing in the office with, with the nurses or in the lab, he said your eyes look different. So I guess he was just waiting on me. Just waiting on me. That's the one that looked like Oprah Taylor with a fresh haircut. So he probably wouldn't dare suggest it because he probably felt like I would call him Oprah Taylor or Richard Cunningham, something to frustrate him. And I probably would have, What you know about mental health, Oprah Taylor? But my third appointment with my psychiatrist, he's over a mental health hospital. So I could see him looking looking at his computer, and you could see like it was like he was on a watching a security camera, just different blocks, patients' rooms. And it was just full. So he'd be looking at his computer and, writing notes like he was listening to me. And I told him, look, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with you not paying. How do I know you're not writing down the wrong thing? You could be writing down something on my chart that you want to give to one of those patients on the computer. Then you'll have me running around here walking backwards and clucking like a duck because you weren't listening to me. I said, if you can't listen, look at me, pay attention to me. While I'm in here, I might need to find someone else. And so he tried to explain to me, about the patients on the screen. Well, what can you do? Why are you sitting up here? Let me watch them. Let me watch them and you watch me watch them. And but no, we can't do that. So the next time I went in, his computer was not on. And now we have a great relationship. We have a fantastic relationship. He offered to purchase me a cat because, honey, I was so upset when my little boy Mason had to be put to sleep. I was all in there just. I cut up in that man's office that day. And he told me, he said, just find a cat. He didn't care the cost of the cat. Just find a cat that I wanted, let him know, and he would purchase me that cat. And of course I did not, because I didn't think I needed another cat after Mason passed. But here is Milton Leroy. Here is Milton Leroy. Like I said, I still had Missy, my grandbaby. She was still living with me. But no, I never got another boy, and I still didn't. Milton Leroy found me. But I'm saying all this to say, if you need help, not getting help is more of a sign of weakness than seeking help. Seeking help is a sign of strength. Just like I have sarcoidosis. I have specialists that I go to. I can't ignore the fact that I have it. And to do so would not be sensible. It wouldn't make good sense for me to ignore the fact that I have sarcoidosis, especially, not being in remission. So it's the same with mental health treatment. Your ticket's not talking and you want to get it back in alignment. You know what I mean? And it takes work. It takes going to see a professional. So that's what you have to do. Same if I had a heart condition, I would go see a cardiologist. You have to know I have a heart problem and not would be senseless. People would be saying, all she had to do, the doctor was right down the road. All she had to do was make an appointment and go see him. She didn't have to suffer like that. Same with mental health. Reach out, make an appointment. You don't have to suffer like that. You don't even have to go into an office anymore. There are, anytime you get a book from me, all of my books come with information. Reach out to talk to someone. You can text people now. You don't even have to give your real name. Everything is anonymous. But in the back of every book that I produce, that I write, is going to be crisis, help, and support. And it says, in this book, it says, if you are struggling with overwhelming thoughts or emotions, please know you are not alone. And I give the information for the crisis hotline, and I give a number to dial for immediate confidential support. And also give advice for outside of the U.S. Yes. So like I said, I know what it's like to know that I need help, not know where to turn, being ashamed to turn, that way, because I didn't want to be considered weak. Hold on a minute, y'all. I'm looking for, they're probably in the car, looking for another book. Yeah, honey, walking backwards and clucking like a duck. Like I said, he wasn't finna have me messed up. I was already messed up enough. I remember one time I went in his office, and that probably was when Mason passed, that I was acting up so bad. He was writing a prescription. That's when they were still doing the paper prescription. He was writing a prescription. I would do it, say something else. He would tear it off and bother it, put it in trash, write something else. I guess he said, honey, she need a stronger milligram. He did that about 3 times before I left. And then I was like, you probably done gave me something so strong that it'll knock a horse out. I'm not taking this. And he was like, what is, And then when I would go to his office and I wouldn't act up or do anything, he would call me like an hour or so after my appointment, and he would ask me if I'm okay, and I'd be like, yeah. And he was like, well, why am I worried about you? I'm like, because you have nothing else to do. Don't call me no more with that. But if I go in his office and accuse him of eating a bacon double cheeseburger and calling him a fat ass, he wouldn't even call me. That's honest. Like I said, I was doing everything up in that man's office. Not one time did he say, you cannot come back. And I only called him that because here I am. Yeah, I know it. And I used to tell him, I said, you have mental issues. You have mental issues. Because if you didn't have mental issues, you wouldn't be able to work with people with mental issues. I said, so who is your doctor? Who do you see? Good morning, Britt. And he would just look at me. You know how a dog turn their head sideways? He would just look at me like, if I could, I'd lock you up. You need some 24-hour straightening, lady. But seriously, when he told me that he's like 600 pounds. And, I'm 135, 140. He telling me to stay away from unprocessed foods, leave the buffet alone and stuff like that. And I'm like, how you gonna tell me to stay away from the buffet? Hey, Mocha. Hey, cousin. You gonna tell me to stay away from the buffet, only eat unprocessed foods? And every time I come in here, you smelling like a bacon double cheeseburger with a side of fries. And one time his nurse heard me saying that, and she said she hollered. He pulls out a to-go box and said, You can smell this? Yeah, I smell it. I said, now, then I wasn't even thinking about the buffet, but now that I'm thinking about the buffet, I don't have any buffet money, so I'm gonna need you to give me $20 so I can go to the buffet up the street. And he would. He would give me $20 to go to the buffet. Because most of the time when he said that, I was not even thinking about the buffet. But now you done put it on my mind, you gonna have to pay for me to go, because I don't have $20 to go to the buffet. And so he would give me $20 to go to the buffet. And with my bath bombs, with my journals, anytime I go in his office and I say, I've created this, I've made this, I'm doing this, he was always the first one to purchase. I don't know if he was throwing it in the trash. I don't care, but he gave me, he inspired me to keep going, because all I can think about, if it's good enough for my psychiatrist, imagine, it's got to be really good. My earlier journals, no, they weren't so good, but he still purchased them. He still purchased them, and he would always ask me, have you done anything else? You have any more of those bath bombs or shower steamers? Like I said, he could have just been throwing them in the trash, for all I know. But he still would purchase them, and he would still give me $20 to go to the buffet anytime he brought it up. Now, if I brought it up and I said, if he's like, what are you going to do when you leave here? You have any plans for the rest of the day? Yeah, I'm going to the buffet. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go lay down in the buffet for about 3 hours. They know me there. They bring my food to the table. I don't even have to go to the bar no more. They just bring it straight from the kitchen and put it on the table, because they know what I like. But the days that he would say, oh, you need to stay away from the buffet, you need to only eat, raw and unprocessed food. See there, doctor, I wasn't even thinking about that. And so we go back and forth for a little bit. And like I said, y'all, this is when this was when during the time when anybody could get it. And like I said, when I said, here you are sitting up here with your fat ass eating a double cheeseburger, smelling like a bacon double cheeseburger with a side of fries, trying to tell me what to do. It was a mess. Yes, he is cool as all get out. Cool. And honey, let me tell you how cool he is. His name is Chili. And that's his real name. But I'm telling you, if I didn't do that, if I didn't call him a fat ass or say, I need $20, or, do a backflip in the office. Or tell him he needed mental health treatment himself. If I didn't do any of that, then he would call me. He would call me like an hour or so after my appointment. Yes. I would go to the buffet and eat healthy, unprocessed foods. I would go to the buffet and get a piece of lettuce and put it on top of my food. And that was my unprocessed food. There you go, cousin. That's my thinking. That's my thinking, because that's exactly what I would do. I would go to the buffet and I was like, okay, I'm going to do what he said. I'm going to eat some unprocessed foods. And I get just one little piece of lettuce and put it on the pile of Chinese food that was already on my plate. And I ate the unprocessed food first with a bite of noodles. But like I said, he was then and he still is a very, very, very good psychiatrist. A very good pairing for me. He didn't, like I said, not one time did he say, you can't come back here. I don't know why you acting like that. Don't call me that. Don't say that to me. Nothing. Like I said, we had a few issues in the very beginning about that sofa not being in there. He told me I watched too much TV too. I said, no, no, they have sofas. That's what it's for. And then when he got the sofa, it still didn't go well. And the unprocessed food. But like I said, after him looking at that computer, him looking at that computer really burned me. It really did something to me. Why are you looking at those people when I'm sitting right here? So after we got past that, I can still go in this office right now. If he knows I'm coming, his computer is closed. Because he know I'm going to say something. I say something to all doctors that do that. Because I don't think that's a good bedside manner to have. That means you're not really focused on the patient that's right there in front of you. Like I said, he be done wrote down something, looking at one of them swinging off a bed rail and wrote it down, you know, that I need that medication. And next thing you know, I'm over here, like I said, walking backwards and clucking like a duck. So no, look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. And once we got past that, we are good friends. I feel like I could call him in the middle of the night to change my tire if I had a flat, which I'll never be out in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll never be out in the middle of the night for him to come and, you know, need to call him change my tire. But he cool. And, yeah. So like I said, you just have to, you don't just have to go with who they refer you to. If you have to go through, if they send you to a practice that has more than one there, you might have to go through everybody in the whole building before you find the one that's a fit for you. And you can go through everybody in the whole building and still may not. And still ask for a referral to go somewhere else. You're looking for someone that you can relate to and that can relate to you. And like I said, that's how it is in any relationship. You don't just pick the first stranger off the street to become your best friend. You don't do that. You have to have something in common. There has to be something there, some kind of chemistry there. Because if not, you're not going to want to keep going back to your appointments when you feel like the doctor's not listening to you, the doctor does not care, or whatever. You're not going to want to go back, and therefore you're not going to get the treatment you need or possibly the medications that you need because they don't understand you, and you feel that. But the team I have now, I think if I were to go on a Who ride, I could probably call them all right now. Hey, be outside, come by to pick you up. Let's go. And they will be out there. They will be out there ready to go. So yeah, but it took me a minute. It took me firing some people. It took me getting fired, not showing up, for my appointments, because I didn't want to hear what they had to say. They weren't listening to what I had to say, so they weren't a good fit for me. One lady, she was asking about family stuff and all that, and I was talking about, family stuff, just giving her a little bit of history. And then she focuses on, well, we need to fix that first. No, we don't, lady. I'm trying to tell you, I will go home right now. I climb up on top of this building and try to slide off on my head. We need to talk about what's going on right now. We can work on that later. And that's what my and now I have a psychologist. She deals with SA, so that's how she got on board. And she's really great. Really great. The one prior to her was really great. I cried like a baby when she left. She went on to do bigger and better things, and she was out of the area. She moved to another state, so therefore my insurance would not cover it. But she was really good too. So yeah, I have great ones. I have 3, and they're all great. So like I said, you just have to, and I think a lot of people get discouraged because I've seen that on social media. I've been in the bushes on some lives where they're talking about mental health treatment, and I've heard some people say, well, I went to this doctor and, they weren't a good fit, so I just didn't go back. I didn't try again. I didn't try to find another one. That's even if somebody said right now that my big toe needed to come off, and I don't see anything wrong with my big toe. I'm not having any problems out of my big toe. I'm not going to show up for surgery. even if I'm having issues with my big toe and I think that it doesn't warrant it being removed, I'm going to find another doctor. You know, I'm just not going to go with the first, well, hey, quack, quack. Amen. I sure don't either, Queen Bee. I don't have a problem with it. Not at all. Not at all. But like I'm saying, if what is going on with my big toe, I don't think it warrants being removed, I'm going to find another doctor to fix the issue at hand without removing the whole toe. And the same way with mental health. You have to find someone, like I said, that you're compatible with. There has to be something there. Because if not, like I said, you're not going to keep going back, because I didn't. And that's just the way life works. If you're not getting what you need out of the relationship, you know, you're going to pull back from it. And that's with any relationship. Honey, I got so discombobulated by the earlier events of the live that misplaced my lip tap, honey. And I forgot to even drink my coffee or anything. But it's still warm. It's still warm. Okay. Like I said, I will be coming back on later on this afternoon. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And that's why I knew my doctor had to be thrown off. I was like, hey, who you got to be off to deal with people like me. You just can't see somebody in your office saying and doing the stuff that I'm doing and be all right in the head yourself. I used to ask him, what milligram are you on? You want me to take this milligram? What milligram are you on? I used to give him a hard time. I really did. And but I gave him man such a hard time. I might need to call him when I get off of here and apologize again. And he gonna tell me no apologies needed. He's just happy to know that I'm doing better and that I'm healthy, and you know, that's what he's gonna say, because I've tried to apologize to him sometimes, and now I don't act like that anymore. I don't act like that anymore. He didn't expect me to act like that anymore. Like I said, at some point in my treatment, he did. And I was like, is that not why I'm here? To get treatment so I won't be acting like that every time I come in here. But I'm telling you, it took him a minute to stop calling me after the times that I would go in and, you know, and have a great appointment. What I thought was a great appointment. And he would call me and he would like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, what's wrong? I just left your office. Yeah, I'm fine. He was like, well, why am I worried about you? I don't know. I guess you don't have enough to do, or you don't have nothing else to do, because I'm fine. Maybe you need to go take your medication and lay down. Okay, I have someone call you tomorrow. I'm like, did he not just hear me? And sure enough, the nurse would call and do a follow-up the next day, asking me how I was feeling. I guess because I went from being, you know, sliding off the roof. Maybe the progression was too quick for them, and they saw it as a warning sign that they needed to, you know, maybe something was wrong. They need to pay closer attention to me. But I guess because, like I said, I went from wanting to slide off the roof on my head to kumbaya, you know, really quick. And that's because all three of them were really good. And they were good. But I also had to do the work. And like I said, that's the hard part. And because I was willing to do the work and I was not willing to accept defeat, I had to see it all the way through. I started it and I was going to finish it, because I couldn't go back to where I was. I refused to, you know, to live like that again. So like I said, they were great. They were good, but it would not have worked if I had not done the work. So you can't go in thinking that it's a quick fix, or it's a fix with medication, or that it's going to be fixed by them. The hard work is done by you. It's done by me, the patient, because we're the ones that have to make up our mind that when we have to go back and relive things, and we have to make our mind not to quit, that we're going to work through this. And that's hard. It's easy to dismiss it, put it, try to put it out of your mind. Like I said, I say try because it never really is out of your mind. It manifests in different ways in your life, externally. So, like I said, that's the easy. The easy part is walking away. The hard part is staying and doing the work. And again, same in any relationship that's worth being in. It's not always going to be peaches and cream, and that's the truth with therapy. That's the truth with anything. That's the truth with sarcoidosis. It's not always peaches and cream every day. There are going to be hard days, but I know that God knows that I'm strong enough to make it through those hard days because I have sarcoidosis. And He promised us not to put more on us than we can bear. So He knew that I was going to, make it through, that I was going to seek help when I did, that I was going to be okay. And at some point that I was going to realize that He was there too. I didn't have to do it by myself. Spent 50 years trying to do it by myself. I said, thank God I don't have any, noticeable may nots on my head. And as I told you, may nots are knots that are put there that may or may not ever go down. I don't have any visible ones, but I do have internal scars from them, And like I said, I caused a lot of my own pain because I was in pain, if that makes any sense. And my pain spewed over into my children, into anyone that I came in contact with. And a lot of people that I came into contact with had similar backgrounds as I. So if one said less, the other was going to say go. There was nobody saying, let's not do that. Let's think about that. Let's lay down. Let's take a nap. No. It was always, let's go. Let's go do it. You want to do it? Let's go do it. Come pick me up. Or I'm on my way to pick you up, Because we had similar backgrounds. And with mental health treatment, I ended up having to cut off those, what I thought were friendships. They really weren't. They were more like trauma bonds. Because once I started taking mental health treatment, I wanted them to, I wanted them to see what it was like over here on this side of the fence. They weren't ready. They weren't ready to relive, or I've had them, yeah, this happened. Yeah, I could use help, but no, I'm not ready. I'm not strong enough to go back and do all that. I've lived with it this long. I might as well just live out the rest of my life in this kind of pain. And because we were moving in two totally opposite directions, I couldn't soar holding on to them and allowing them to hold on to me. I refused to go back to where they were. They refused to come to where I was. So there was no meeting in the middle there, because I was a new person, Okay, Stu. Okay. I'll see you later. Thank you for coming. And thank you for staying as long as you did. Seeing as though I didn't do any arts and crafts today. Be careful out there, Stu. I'll see you later. But, like I said, there was no meeting in the middle. So we had to part ways. And parting ways did not happen like I'm saying. It just didn't happen with the snap of a finger. Because they tried to pull me back that way. I tried to pull them back, to where I was. And it was just kind of like an emotional and mental tug of war. and I would block them, and then I would feel bad, and then I'd unblock them and check and see how they were doing, and then they would say something else, or do something else to remind me of, my past, our past together, and the hurt that, and it was just depressing. It was awful. And so finally I blocked, and I didn't unblock. And honey, it's a great feeling, because when they would call, when I'd unblock them and they'd call, and it would just cause me anxiety. My heart would start racing, because what are they going to say? What god awful story are they going to talk about that's going to throw me into a tailspin, and jeopardize all the work, all the healing that I've been doing up until this point. So it comes to a point where you have to cut off, to save yourself. And I did. And now they don't, and it works for both of us. They don't have to hear me talking about all the positive stuff, because that's not where they were at. For everything positive, I would say, oh, you see how pretty it is today? Yeah, well, it's supposed to rain. 100% chance of rain. And I'm like, wait a minute. But it's beautiful right now. Well, it ain't gonna last long. Stuff like that. Or I could say, hey, you want to ride off? We can just go for a ride. Ain't nowhere to go. I ain't got no money. I didn't say anything about any money. I said, do you want to ride? Look at the beautiful mountains. Do you want to ride? Well, that costs gas money. You got money to just be riding around? Okay. So that's what I mean. For everything positive I could even say or suggest, it was always going to be a negative. And I just couldn't keep doing it. Like I said, that is a vicious roller coaster, yo-yo, cycle to go through. And they weren't going to break. They weren't going to break. And so I had to do what I had to do to protect myself. I still pray for them. Their names are still on my prayer list. And it's not any particular prayer. I just want the Lord to bless and keep them and watch over them, I used to pray, Lord, just touch their heart, touch their mind, so that they'll want to go and receive help. But I'm asking God to just meet them where they are. If they decide to go get help, great. But meet them where they are. Just protect them and cover them, Because like with anything, we're all not going to get to the finish line at the same time. That's with any race that we're running. There always has to be a winner. There's always going to be a second, third, fourth, Everybody's not going to cross the finish line at the same time. Even though we may start the race at the same time, we're not all going to finish together. And that's okay. We all learn differently. We've all gone to school. We all know that, someone may excel in algebra. Someone may excel in language or social studies. We all don't have to be great at the same thing, And just because my past friends were not on the same path does not mean I love them or care for them any less than I did when we were on the same path. It's just that I chose to come out of the woods, because we were taking all the little shortcuts and back roads. I chose to come out and get on this road that is not so hard, not so windy, not so hilly, It's just straight. And it's easier. I don't have to be all out there in the elements, Like I said, walking backwards and clucking like a duck. I can just walk this road right here. It's peaceful. I like it. I wish they, like I said, at the time I was like, hey, come on, there's a road over here. They got a buffet over here with everything you want, but you got to come out of the woods to get it. You got to come out of the wilderness to get it. Basically, you got to move out of your own way. But like I said, in that everything happens in its own time. If it happens, it happens. I will be more than happy for them. Like I said, I still love them. I still love them to this day. I still pray over them and pray for them and with them. And I understand. Like I said, it's hard to go to a place where you know you have to relive all this stuff. It's hard. It's not easy. Hardest thing I've ever done was go through all that stuff, to relive all of that stuff. But that's the only way to get past it. Is it to acknowledge that it happened? My feelings at the time were valid. My feelings now are valid. You know? So, mental health is worth it. Like I said, not just for someone who has had, you know, traumatic childhood or you know, issues happen in the traumatic situations happen in adulthood. Everyone can benefit. Because you heard cousin say we all are thrown off in our own way. And we are. We are. Like I said, that's everybody. Everybody. But for the ones that weren't here, and I'm going to have to read this again for myself, because like I said, I read it every morning out of this daily devotional. It's for 2026. Like I said, y'all know this is a leap year this year. So, makes this book a little bit more special to me. But yeah, I read out of it every morning before I get on live, and I was like, I could start doing this every morning and share with you all how I start my day. Today is January 26th, so I'm going to read this again before I close, and then I'm going to get off, and like I said, I'll be back this afternoon. Not afternoon, evening. Because I like doing the live laying down. Y'all talk about and say which one. I do. I like doing the live laying down. And it was dark, and it was just, like I said, the mornings are cool. Because I feel like I need to be up in the morning. When I can be. But like I said, being able to lay down and relax at night on live, that was cool. I like that. But here's what it is for today. January 26th, 2026. The daily message is obedience open doors that hustle can't. You don't have to chase every opportunity. Just follow God's lead. What He ordains will find you. Walk in obedience today and watch blessings flow in ways you never imagined. Life rule of the day. Obedience brings favor faster than striving. Read that again. Obedience brings favor faster than striving. Scripture comes from John 14, verse 15, New Living Translation. If you love me, obey my commandments. And the closing prayer, Lord, help me follow your will above my own desires. Amen. Amen. If you like what I just read and you want your own book, this is the Rise, Reflect, Renew 2026 366 Days of Strength, Peace, and Spiritual Renewal. Daily devotional, daily renewal. It is on Amazon.com. You can, there's the link to Amazon is in the description of my channel. So like I said, if you like it and you want one for yourself, you can find them there. Like I said, it's for every day, and like I said, it's 366 days this year. Thank the Lord for an extra day. Yes, new grace, new mercy, new favor, new opportunity. I ask that God bless y'all and keep y'all and speak into your life and over your life today. Today is going to be a marvelous Monday, on purpose and with purpose. I love y'all. Hopefully I'll see y'all later on this evening for my afternoon live. Milton Leroy was here. I guess I was taking too long to acknowledge him. Here it comes. All I had to do is get this bag out, honey. I was taking too long to acknowledge him, so he left. Yeah, he came and he was sitting up here. Um, and y'all, I can't wait for the sarcoidosis awareness. Come on. Can't wait for the sarcoidosis awareness journals to come in so I can show them to y'all. And the ink pens that go along with them. I can't wait. Okay, y'all. It's Milton Leroy signing off. So happy Monday. Happy Monday. I will see y'all later on this afternoon if you can make it. I look forward to seeing you. All right, Cousin Mocha, you have a great day. Y'all be careful, stay safe, and stay warm. I love y'all, my cousins. See you later.